Get going.
I want to welcome everyone to our fourth day of a 6-day high performance camp. And I'd like to remind you that tomorrow we have a time trial.
Here.
Do some house cleaning here. Hold on.
Is your dog Jody?
No, not quite. Not quite. Let me go ahead and take a few other people and make sure they don't have any pets in the room that are going to. Okay, so I want to welcome you once again. This is our 9th annual camp, but this is our 4th day. So we're past the halfway mark. And I want to introduce once again Ralph Linschulten, who will be leading the session along with a special guest. Ralph, take it away.
Thank you, Jody. So good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone. So like Jody told, we have our 4th session, and today I'm very, very happy because we have a special guest today, and a warm welcome to Annika from Germany.
Hello, everyone. Great to be there.
Cool. Annika is something like a newcomer in hand cycling, a little bit like that. And she's still world champion. So as a newcomer as well, she's a world champion, but we have a lot of things we can talk about. And maybe Annika, a few words for the beginning from you about yourself. Only a few, because I have a lot of questions, but a little bit like, where are you and what you're doing?
Yes. So I'll try to make it short. So I've been in a wheelchair since I was 14. And my first sport was wheelchair basketball. So I played for the German national team for many, many years. We won Paralympic gold at London 2012. And after the Paralympic Games in Rio, I decided that I would retire from wheelchair basketball. But since I love sports and training so much, I then started doing para-athletics. So I did wheelchair racing, focusing on marathons, and really enjoyed that, but then got injured and couldn't continue that and switched to hand cycling, which, I mean, I've been doing hand cycling for cross training basically for a very, very long time also, but then started racing in 2019. And yeah, as Ralf already mentioned, I managed to win the World Championship title in 2019 in the road race. So that was a big surprise.
Cool. That was, yeah, a small surprise, maybe a big surprise for sure. This race in Emmen at the road race, but we will come to that later because I've already, or still, the picture of your arriving, your sprint in my mind. So, but first, this is a long time you're doing para sports, and you have been since you're of the age of 14, right? Using a
Yes.
wheelchair. So maybe you can give the others a short information about your accident and what level of injury you have.
Yes. So my accident was a horseback riding accident. So before the accident, I've been doing horseback riding quite a lot, and I was also very competitive in that, and saw my future in horseback riding. And then the accident, of course, changed a lot. And I also, after my accident, of course, I went back on a horse because that was very important to me to know that I can still do that. But I realized that it's different than before. So that's why, I then started playing wheelchair basketball. I actually, like, during my rehabilitation, like, wheelchair basketball was like the first sport I tried out. And when I found out that it's still possible to do sports, I was like, it's such a big relief for me, because sports have always been such an important part in my life. So once I knew I can still do sports in a wheelchair, like, for me, it was like, okay, everything is okay now, and I'm okay with like being in a wheelchair.
Okay. And what kind of injury height?
So my I have basically, when I had my accident, my injuries kind of like on two levels. So I have like a complete and an incomplete level, and it's ranging up to the eighth, what is it? What do you call it? The
EHA.
thoracic vertebrae. So,
Yeah. Okay. And when I don't know exactly, but I heard that you're starting with wheelchair basketball, and I think then you're going to America, right?
yes, I was living in the US for 4 years. I studied at the University of Alabama, and yeah, got my degree there, played there, and yeah, I had a really great time being there.
Was studying the reason, or the wheelchair basketball?
The combination of both, because in Germany it's quite challenging to have like the university in one place, and then like having like your wheelchair basketball team in another place. And in the US, it's just perfect to have like that college system where you have like everything on campus. So that made it a lot easier to combine training and studying, because we basically had our first training early in the morning. So like most of the times, like 5:30 or 6 in the morning, we trained for 2 hours. Then it was like time to go to classes. And then we had a second training session in the afternoon. So it was really perfect to get like the best out of both.
Okay. And when you're doing this in America, have you been able to play for the German team still, or you have to stop with the career in the national team?
No, I continued playing for the German national team, which of course was quite challenging, because sometimes I was like flying back to Germany just for like 3 days or something to like attend a camp of the German team. But because there's quite a long like summer break from university in the United States, it worked out, because most of like the big events like World Championships and Paralympic Games are like in the summer. So that way I was always able to be there. And I mean, some of our like training camps and games were also in the US. So sometimes I could even like drive there by car, while the others had to fly there from Germany. So,
Okay.
yeah.
And I don't know if the others have an idea, but wheelchair basketball for women in Germany is very popular, and they are very successful. So I don't know exactly how many medals you won at the Paralympic Games with the national team.
So we won the silver medal in Beijing 2008, and then the gold medal in London 2012, and then the silver medal again in Rio 2016.
Okay, cool. Congratulations for that. And how is the feeling when you win a gold medal at the Paralympics? And is it easy to proceed with wheelchair basketball after winning this big final, or you got a little bit like a, oh, I have to stop and to get a good rest from that?
For me, it was actually quite challenging, because it's like, it was always my big dream, like winning a gold medal at Paralympic Games. And I mean, I know that like for a lot of people, that's like the biggest goal. And like, there are not a lot of people who can actually achieve that. And for me, it was like achieving that. And like, basically, after winning gold in London, I had to go straight back to the US and like continue my studies and continue to play for the team there. And I also had like some conversations with my coaches there, because it felt really odd, because like before, like every day I reminded myself in training, okay, you're doing this because you want to win like this gold medal at the Paralympic Games. But then I have like achieved that goal, and it was like, okay, what is my motivation now? What's my next goal? So at the beginning it was quite challenging.
Mm-hmm. And I think you have been young in 2012, so there should be something coming up after that, right? Because I don't know exactly, but it's now 9 years ago. And then there's a question, I think, what is next, right?
Yes. But I mean, I knew that I definitely didn't want to retire from wheelchair basketball then. So I knew I definitely wanted to do like the next Paralympic Games. And I also, of course, wanted to continue being successful with like the college team in the US. So after like a short time, I like got my motivation back. And I mean, I just love the game of wheelchair basketball, and I just love training. Like I like to have like a challenge and to do everything to achieve certain goals.
Yeah, and you have now done 3 different Paralympics. So which one of them have been the most impressive games? For sure, gold medal is the one thing, but the games have different between Rio, Tokyo, London, and Beijing.
Yeah, for sure. Like all 3 have been great in their way, but for me, like London 2012 will always be the games that stand out. And that's not just because of the gold medal, but just like because of like the whole atmosphere in London. It was just like amazing. Like when you were like leaving like an official venue, or like the Paralympic Village, like
Is it me or is it Annika?
okay, I think I'm back.
Ah, okay, it's you.
I don't know what happened. Probably my internet connection. Anyway, so yeah, London is like the games that will always stand out to me because of like the amazing atmosphere, like the people in the UK, like they were so excited about the Paralympic Games, and like also afterwards there are like a lot of studies that like show how like perceptions around like people with disabilities have changed in the UK through the Paralympic Games. And I think that's what should happen for like in every country where the Paralympic Games take place.
Yeah, absolutely. I have been in London as well, and it was amazing. Um, the the crowd have been there, and it was really people which have been celebrate every single day with us, and it was unbelievable. And
Yes.
I,
I like one game I specifically remember is that we had to play our quarterfinals against Great Britain, and like the stadium was like packed, and like I've never played in such like an atmosphere before. And like whenever like Great Britain like just had the ball, like the crowds were like screaming, and like as a player you were like, okay, what's happening here? And yeah, I mean, I'm glad we won that game, but it was a pretty tough and close game.
okay, and then you changed from a team sport to a individual sport. Um, how was the first step to this? Because it's completely different.
It is very different, and I can definitely say that I'm like inside, I'm like a team player. I really like to be on a team. So for like hand cycling, I really enjoy the team relay because then I can still be on a team. But in general, like the big advantage for me in doing an individual sport is that I can train, like I can plan my training a little more individually rather than like having like set training times together like with the team. So that makes a really big difference.
Yeah, absolutely. And how many hours now you spend in the hand bike for in the week in average?
So it's usually over 20 hours a week.
Only hand cycling.
Yes, and I mean I also do like lifting weights and yeah, strength training as well.
Yeah. And what is your favorite in hand cycling? So I have for sure some information because someone of my athletes sometimes talking about your training sessions. But what is your private best training session?
Sorry, what did you say?
What is your favorite training session? What is your favorite training workout?
I mean, my favorite workout. I mean, I definitely like to train outdoors. I mean, for like the last weeks, I've been only cycling on the roller and like using Swift like everyone else. So I'm really looking forward to train outdoors again. And then, of course, there are like some sessions that are not really fun, like certain interval sessions. I'm questioning myself why I'm doing this. But in general, whenever I feel I'm getting better and then certain interval sessions are feeling easier, then I enjoy it.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, you know Julia, and she's a female athlete of mine, and
Yes.
she's talking about that sometimes you feel when you're doing an easy ride, you're starting a competition, like getting faster and faster.
Yeah, I'm not good at going like slow and doing like recovery rides and stuff like that. So my coach sometimes yeah gets a little not annoyed. He knows me. He laughs about when I try to tell him that I failed at doing like a recovery session because I got too fast.
Yeah, I know the athletes for sure, and the mind of the athletes, and it's always a fight between the coach and the athlete to understand the easy rides makes you better. It's sometimes difficult.
Yes.
And but before you went to the hand cycle, you did racing chair, right?
Yes, I did.
And what was the reason why you stopped with the racing chair?
So I got an injury with like a nerve, and I wasn't able to do the movement to the back with my left arm. And because hand cycling is like all the way in the front, I didn't have any problems doing hand cycling. So first I switched all my training to hand cycling. I did like all the intervals and stuff that I would have done in the racing chair. I did on the hand cycle because I knew I could do that without any problems with my injury. And first thought I would just do that until my injury is healed, but then like I've been to so many doctors and physiotherapists and tried everything, but couldn't really get much improvement with my injury. So that's why my coach then said, well, just do some hand cycling races to like stay in the competition mode, and so that's what I did, and it went pretty well.
Yes. And what or how long you did racing chair before?
So with wheelchair racing, I started right after the Rio 2016 Paralympic Games. And then my injury happened in 2018. And that's when I started to switch my training over to hand cycling.
Okay. But you have been on a world championships for racing chair as well, right? Or is that not the case?
I did what?
Have you been on a racing chair at the world championships as well?
Yes, so in 2017, I competed at the World Championships in London. And then 2018 were the European Championships in Berlin, so in Germany. So I was like really looking forward to have a home European Championships. But then due to my injury, I wasn't able to compete. And yeah, that was quite sad.
Yeah, okay. But I have seen some movies or some pictures from the European Championships in Berlin, and yeah, it was like a little bit disappointing when you're seeing this big stadium and it have been only 10 visitors. So this was a little
Yes.
sad, and so hopefully this will be growing up as well, so that there are more visitors than only a few.
Yes, I mean, the whole planning around the European Championships in Berlin wasn't ideal. And there was also at the same time another big parasport event was happening in Germany. So they had the World Championships for wheelchair basketball in Hamburg at exactly the same time, which of course is not ideal because there's like people that would like to go to both, but then they had to basically decide between the two. So that already like gives less spectators to each of the event.
Yeah, absolutely. It could be a reason. But
I mean, that wasn't like the only reason, but that was of course one reason that like for not being ideal in the planning.
yeah, absolutely. And then you change to the sport and crash the hand cycling. So everyone is for sure asking, how can this happen? So
Well,
give us your secrets.
I think there's no secrets. I think it's only hard training. And I mean, I know that I could not have been successful in hand cycling if I didn't, like, if I hadn't been training for so long in other sports. I mean, I didn't start from zero. I started already like in very good shape. And yeah, that's how it all happened.
Yeah. Are you still, so since then we haven't any race. Since the World
Yes.
Championships, I think this was the last race you did, right?
Yes.
Is this, how to say it, sometimes a dream that you are thinking this was real?
It it kind of still feels like like a dream. And yeah, I mean, it's tough for everyone having to train for such a long period of time without having any races and without knowing how like your competitors are like doing at the moment, like if they are in good shape or if they are not in good shape. I mean, I can like always like look at myself and like try to improve myself, but I have no idea how like my competitors are doing. So that makes it quite challenging.
Yeah, absolutely. This is a big point for everyone at this moment. And
Yes.
this will be a nice question before the first start of any race.
Yes.
Um,
It's a bit scary not to know like where you are compared to others.
yeah, I can understand. And this is for sure for me as a coach as well. Sometimes um, difficult to see where we are right now. For sure, we are doing a lot of tests, and I know how the body is working, but we have no idea how strong the others right now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
absolutely.
Yeah, I've also like this year I've done a lot more like testing, like a lot of like lactate testing and like things like that, just to like, yeah, see how I'm doing myself, but that doesn't mean that I know how others are doing. So yeah, I only know how
Hey,
my personal shape is.
you can say me your numbers, and I can give you information how strong you are.
Nope.
What?
Not going to
We are
happen.
we are all both together alone here. No one will listen to us.
Sorry.
Okay, then what was your first hand cycle race?
Um, well, I mean, I have in the past, before I actually like started the real hand cycle races, I did like a few of like the city marathons where I competed in the hand cycle. But then like the first like real like serious race was in 2019. I did one in France where it was like a European handbike circuit race. Sorry?
Rosenau.
Yeah, Rosenau. Yeah.
Cool. And then how was the first race then international?
Well, I got there and then I saw like everyone like with their carbon fiber hand cycles, and I was like, oh my gosh, what am I doing there here? I can't compete with any of those girls. But then I actually ended up being like in my classification, I was first in that race, and for the overall women, I was second. So that was actually a great success, and there was a good start of international hand cycle races.
Cool. And then there you got classified, and then you're going to the World Cups.
Yeah, I did the World Cup in Baie-Comeau in Canada in 2019, and there, I got a little unlucky because in the time trial I had issues with my bike, so I couldn't shift gears. So that was really annoying. No, that was terrible. And then the last race there was the road race, and there I finished second, and that was also my qualification for the World Championships. So yeah, I only knew that I would be competing at the World Championships just like a few weeks before the World Championships.
So you haven't been in Belgium or in Italy before?
No.
Unbelievable. And then you're coming to Emmen, and you have been able to start in the team relay.
Yes.
Which
There was, as I said, like the team relay, like is very special to me because I really like to be on a team, and like, of course, it's great to have like such experienced and like really great athletes with me on that German team. yeah, we managed to win the bronze medal in the team relay. So that was like an amazing success and like an amazing start to the World Championships.
Yeah, and this for sure first race was full of stories because at the end you haven't been finishing you didn't finish the race because Vico crossed or finished maybe the race, but he crossed into the fence.
Yeah, and we finished fourth because Vico crashed, and then like after the crash still crossed the finish line, but we were fourth. But then the Spanish team got disqualified because yeah, one of the guys from the Spanish team was basically the cause why Vico crashed into the barrier, and that's why then in the end we got the bronze medal. But first we thought we would be fourth and didn't win a medal, and then yeah, it was even like nicer to know that we won the bronze medal.
Absolutely, and it was like during the race as well, and up and downs. I think you have been on the second place short time, and then at the end on the fourth place, and then getting third. So it was an up and down during the whole race.
Yes, but I think that's also something that makes the team relay so exciting. That yeah, there like so much can happen during such a race.
Yeah, absolutely. It's very, and it's on a short place, and it's for the visitors very interesting because you see every single minute some changes. You see the athletes, and not like a time trial where you see the athletes only one time sometimes.
Yeah.
So, and then on the second day, you had your time trial.
Yes.
How was it?
I wasn't very happy with the time trial. And I mean, something I should also mention is that when we were already in Emmen and we were training there, I had like a training accident, and I actually broke my foot. And so that of course was also like causing my heart rate to like go a bit crazy, which of course wasn't great for the time trial. I mean, it wasn't great for the road race either, but I mean, in the road race it went much better for me. And then after the World Championships, I basically had to go to the hospital right away, and like I had a surgery on my foot a few days after the World Championships because of the training crash and my broken foot. So
Wow.
yeah.
I didn't know, and we met after the race, and I didn't know that you have a broken leg.
Well, at that point, I didn't know that it was broken yet. I mean, I must say that like our like team physios and doctors, like they did like an amazing job, and they kind of already knew that my foot was broken, but they like told me not to worry about it. Like they took care of my foot like twice a day. They checked that it was like all okay. They like taped it for the races and like did different treatment for it. So like it was all safe, but of course, yeah, it was tough on my body to go through that.
Yeah, absolutely. And then the road race, and it was a unbelievable sprint. Tell us a story about the race because it was like so cool to see the different stages of this race. So, and maybe you can make a short movie about that.
A short movie. Well, I mean, from from the start, I was able to basically stay with like the lead group, and like at the beginning we had like maybe like 8 people in the lead group, and then during the race it went down to like 6 in the lead group, and then at some point one of the US girls, she actually crashed a little bit into me, and our bikes got caught on each other, and we couldn't continue because we couldn't get the bikes apart. So we had to stop and needed help from the UCI. So basically we were off the lead group. And then like after that, like after our bikes were taken apart, that was for me like the toughest part of like the whole race, because we were like fighting back to the lead group, which was really, really tough. Yeah, but in the end, we made it back to the lead group, and then yeah, was able to stay with the group. And there was like a little hill, a little bit like close to like the finish line. I mean, it was like a round course where I think you had to do like 8 laps. And so I knew that like I'm strong at the hill. So at the end, when we were like 6 people in the lead group, I knew that I wanted to attack at the hill, and I did. And I knew that like after the hill, I was first, and I just like sprinted to the finish line. But I expected that somebody would like pass me, but nobody passed me. And then suddenly the finish line was there, and I went over it, and I was like so surprised. It was just like an amazing moment, because like I expected that at least 1, 2, 3 people would like still pass me before the finish line, but there was nobody. So yeah, that was just an amazing moment.
Yeah, cool. Did you felt during the race the moment, or do you remember the moment when you thought during a sprint you can beat them?
I never thought that I would be able to beat them during a sprint. So I was always hoping that there would be a few more attacks, and that we would like lose some more people from the lead group. But it didn't happen. So we still had, I think, 6 in the end. And I was like always hoping to at least like only have like 3 people in the lead group to know that I can win a medal. But I didn't expect that in a sprint I could beat them. So I only knew that like at the hill that would be my strength to attack there.
That's cool. It's pretty cool. And for sure, the question from my side is, at this moment, when you're doing hand cycling since years, yeah, you know every single athlete in your starting class. You know how to act when he's doing that, when she's doing this. And have you, before this race, thought about the others?
Well, I have more focused on myself, and I have thought about like where I would attack and what I would do. And I mean, I knew that like from the beginning I would like try to stay like with the lead group, and yeah, but I didn't know that much about like all the other individual hand cycle racers, because as you know, I was very new, or I'm still new to hand cycling.
Yeah. And when now the season will start, do you think there will be a different situation for you? Because now everyone is now looking to you.
Well, of course it's different, because I mean, I didn't expect to win an Emmen, and nobody else expected me to win an Emmen. But like now
Oh, Annika. So German has a very good internet.
Well, I could take some time now to put out some information, and you can let me know when she's signed back on, Ralph.
Yeah, I will.
I got some exciting news that just came in through Bill Koch, I'm sorry, at Tour of America's Dairyland. There's a race circuit called Echelon Race League, the virtual racing league, that they're working closely with Toad to have some races in March. And we've made a push for there to be a paracycling division. So the quick and dirty is that there'll be an amateur race on March 6th and 7th. And that will be a race that will be essentially for you to cut your teeth on, because you're going to have to learn this platform. It's an RGT platform that is currently being used, but I wouldn't necessarily call it the pinnacle of this virtual racing that's being developed throughout the world, but it's something that they're interested in our involvement. So again, on your schedules, if you'd say the weekend of the 6th and 7th, there will be criterium races that will be virtual. And then the full-on legit one would be the following weekend, which is the pro races, and that'll be the 13th and 14th of March. So there'll be more information being passed out in the coming weeks. The hope is to include recumbents as well, but right now we're considering if they can't break us out into divisions, we'll just do it ourselves amongst our naming of our avatar, like we already currently do with hand bikes or hand cycles or recumbents in the name of your account that you'd have created. So, and they did say as long as they were reasonable, you could use an alias if you were concerned about the world finding out how fast you really were. But you can't be called Godzilla or something like that. You'd have to have a reasonable first and last name. Is she back?
Yes.
All right. Thank you.
I'm back, yes.
So Annika, here we are.
Yes, I feel like my internet just keeps dropping out.
So you're living in Bonn, or?
Yes.
So our former capital is very bad with internet, or what do you say?
No, usually it's pretty solid, but I don't know what's happening this evening.
Okay, but you're back. Cool. So we talked about the road race champion or the road race in Emmen, and about the different from last time when you win and no one knows you. Now coming to the next race, and there will be a change because now everyone is looking to you. Is this for you a problem?
Yes. It's not a problem, it's just a different situation. And I mean, yeah, it is how it is.
Yeah. So you're looking forward to be in this situation.
I mean, I'm definitely looking forward to racing again, and I just want to know where I'm at compared to everyone else.
And let's say COVID will end in a few weeks. What is your next and first race?
I mean, I definitely have on my schedule like the World Cups in Belgium and also the World Cup in Italy. And then, of course, like the World Championships this summer in Portugal. So that's for me like the most important races. And let's see what else can take place.
Mhm. How is the situation in the German team for female athletes? I have no clue at this moment how the situation is.
For hand cycling specifically, you mean?
No, more about the Tokyo places.
Yeah, I mean, in general, of course, we have a lot of good female athletes for paracycling in Germany. So, of course, it's a competition for like the spots to go to Tokyo. So, yeah, we'll see how it goes.
How many slots at this moment has the German paracycling female team?
As far as I know, we have 6.
6.
Yes.
Ooh. That sounds good for you.
I mean, that is good, but of course we have, as I said, a lot of good German female athletes and a lot of medalists and world champions on the German team. And I mean, some of the cyclists, not the hand cyclists, but the cyclists, they do track cycling and road cycling. So of course, for them, they have like a double chance of like winning medals in Tokyo.
Yeah. Maybe we have to explain a little bit the others, how the classification, or not the classification, the qualification is running for national teams to go to Paralympics. Because everyone is for sure thinking you're a world champion. So you have to be at the Paralympic Games.
Yeah, I mean, I would hope to be at the Paralympic Games, but like there is like nothing for certain because you don't qualify basically as a person. It's more about the team. So everyone on the German team collects points together, and like based on like the points that are collected, you get like a certain number of like slots for the German team, and those slots are not specific to like a classification. They are just like slots for German female paracyclists. So as I mentioned, in like for example the leg amputees who can do track cycling and road cycling, they have a double chance of like winning medals. And of course, like the decision who is going to Tokyo is based on like the chance of like winning a medal there. And if you do track cycling and road cycling, of course, the chances are bigger.
Yeah, absolutely. And additionally, and especially for the others who haven't maybe the knowledge, in female hand cycling, there's a special situation that the female classes are combined. So Annika have to go in the time trial against, let me think, H2 and H1, right?
Yes.
And in the road race against the H4, right?
Yes, correct.
So for everyone who is sitting around you, you have to imagine that when you're going into the road race with the class higher, the H4, it's much more difficult for sure to win and to be there.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, so, and this is, in my eyes, a little bit, and there's no factor. They're starting together, they're starting on the starting line, and at the finish line, the first one will win. It makes no difference if you are an H3, H2, or H4. It's sometimes horrible. Yeah.
Yes.
And time trial is factored, right? You have
Yeah, the time trial is factored. Yeah.
So this is sometimes you are asking, or the other asking, for the reason why not more classes will start. We have only a limitation of medals. Yeah, and on the one side, we try to get more and more athletes, but on the other side, every sport have only 15 medals or 10 medals. And then this is a situation for the girls or for the women. They have to start together. And this is sometimes very unfair.
It is. And then you also have like the class age 5, like where like for the female age 5 classes, you have like very few athletes. But like then you ask yourself, why are like not age 4 and age 5 combined rather than age 4 and age 3? But I mean, yeah, it is how it is.
Absolutely. Yeah. And at this moment, it's not clear how many athletes in the age 5 will be on the starting line, and they have a road race for themselves.
Yeah, exactly. So it doesn't make sense at all.
Yeah. But on the other side, we and all the community have to live with that.
Yes.
And what is your, or do you know what you have to reach that you are able to go to Tokyo?
I mean, we kind of already know who like has a good chance of going to Tokyo and who hasn't. And then it all depends a little bit like on the upcoming World Cups this year, how things are going, because I mean, as you mentioned earlier, like the last competitions are like such a long time ago, so it would be unfair to base everything on like the past. But we don't have like set guidelines yet on like how to basically be on the team or not be on the team.
Yeah. Can you have been in a wheelchair basketball team, and now you are in a national team hand cycling. Have you had a training camp the last 1.5 year, or is there anything scheduled? So it's more to explain the others how it works in Germany, because I know for sure what happened the last year, but it's more to explain it for the others.
Yes. So last year in March, we had a training camp with a team in Lanzarote on the Canary Islands. And that was basically the last thing that happened before like the lockdown due to Corona. So basically we were flying out of Lanzarote the exact day when the lockdown there started. So it was like just in time before everything got shut. And then basically all the competitions got canceled, as probably everyone knows. We were then in the summer, I think it was in August, we were able to do one high altitude training camp in St. Moritz in Switzerland. We managed to do that in like a very like safe way, and it was really good to get together. And we expected to still have at least like a Europa Cup level race in Austria. It was supposed to be like a tour in Austria with like 4 stages, but that basically got canceled last minute. So that was really sad because everyone was like looking forward to having at least this one race, but it didn't happen. And then we were supposed to have a training camp end of last year again in Lanzarote at the Canary Islands, but that also got canceled in the end then. And then this month we were supposed to go to Lanzarote as well, and that also got canceled. So I mean, at the moment, everybody just has to be very flexible and take things, yeah, how they happen and make the best out of it. And that's what I'm trying to do.
Yeah, absolutely. This is sometimes it's not easy, sometimes very difficult, but it is like it is, and we have no other chance, right? Absolutely.
Yes.
At this moment, I like to open the round that everyone is able to ask questions to you. Is it okay for you, Annika?
Yeah, of course.
So everyone, if you have questions to the, I think, best newcomer of the last 2-3 years, now you are able to ask.
Everyone is very focused on training, so that's good.
Difficult, it's or it shouldn't be because it's only a recon, right? And it's so easy.
Okay.
So any questions? Yeah, Jay.
Sorry, my glasses were fogging up and I couldn't see the screen to unmute it. So before you do your big races, I know jitters and nervousness can get to you. Do you do anything special to help, control so you're not like blasting off the line and then, wearing yourself out early?
Sorry, can you repeat?
This was, can you stop cranking and then ask the question again?
So I know like when there's big, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, when there's big races, nervousness tends to get to people and they like shoot off the line and like use too much energy early. Is there anything that you do specifically to help get that nervousness under control or to pace yourself?
I mean, I also like get really nervous, and I can tell you that like at the start line in Emmen when I won the World Championship title, I was also super nervous. But for me, once I'm racing, it's okay. For me, it's much worse being at the start line before you can actually do something, or like even like on that day, like everything before the race makes me quite nervous, but once I can actually race, it's okay and I know what I'm doing. And I think it's important to have that nervousness because it shows that you care and that it's important to you. If you weren't nervous, I think it would show that you're not taking it that serious and it doesn't mean anything to you. So I would always see it as like something positive and trying to turn it into like something positive.
Cool. Further questions? Yeah, Liz.
So, Annika, how do you pronounce his name in German? Sorry.
Annika.
Sorry. I can't see the screen either without my glasses. What bicycle do you have now since you started on an old top end and everyone else had the carbon bikes?
So I have a bike from Schmicking now. I don't know if you know that brand. It's a German manufacturer. Yeah.
And
Good.
20-inch wheels?
Sorry?
You have 20-inch wheels on the rear?
Yeah, I do.
And can I ask, with or without camber?
I have it with camber.
And what degree of camber?
I don't know actually.
Like,
So my old bike, I first had it without camber, and I actually did one race that had like a lot of like curves, and I was like super unhappy with how that race went because I felt like everyone was able to go through the curves much faster than I could. So I talked to like the manufacturer of that bike, and he said, "Oh yeah, we can change your bike." And then we changed it, and the next race was much better. And then for like the new bike I had, we had like some discussions around it if it's necessary to have camber or not, because you know, actually it's more about like at what like width the wheels are on the ground and not so much how much camber there is. But I just like feel very comfortable with the camber, so I decided to go for camber again.
thank you.
You're welcome.
Cool.
Hey, is the Schmicking bike a carbon fiber bike or a aluminum bike?
It's an aluminum bike.
Thank you.
So
So it's all about the engine.
That is very true.
Will,
Annika, what's your favorite restaurant in Tuscaloosa? Sorry, did you hear that question?
I didn't, sorry.
What is your favorite restaurant in Tuscaloosa?
My favorite what?
your favorite
restaurant?
Oh, the favorite restaurant. Oh my gosh, there are so many. Wow. Good question.
spend too much time in the gym and haven't been in a
Well, if you spend
so the German disaster. So she's back.
I'm back, sorry. I don't know why this happens all the time. So I said that if you spend a lot of time at the gym, you also need to eat a lot. So of course, I've been to a lot of the restaurants in Tuscaloosa. Which one is your favorite?
I like any place that serves barbecue.
Are you from Tuscaloosa?
No, I spent a lot of time in Alabama, though, mostly in Birmingham. Lots and lots of hours at Lakeshore Foundation.
Ah, yeah, I've been there a lot as well.
Yeah.
It's a nice place.
Absolutely incredible for the para sport. Cool. Another question, maybe about your favorite dinner. What is your favorite dinner? Your style of eating?
My style of eating, I actually I like cooking and I like trying out different recipes, and I wouldn't say I have like this one specific. I like fish a lot, so I like salmon, and then I like all kinds of veggies. In general, I like the Asian cuisine like a lot. Yeah.
Mhm. So you're doing so you're cooking by yourself often, you say?
Like my cooking, I usually on the weekends I do like meal prepping for the week, so I don't have to do so much cooking during the week. So I cook like big portions and like divide them up in different containers that then go in the fridge. So then it's easier during the week, because I mean, I also work. So I have my training and I have my work. So there's not a lot of time left to do other things and to spend a lot of time cooking. So it's always good to have like the meals prepped for the week.
Absolutely. Are you going for testing to the university in Cologne?
For testing? I do a lot of testing with like the people from the Olympic training site in Cologne. So yeah, actually, I already did one testing today, yeah. So I have done some testing at the Sports University in Cologne, but with like Corona, they are not allowed to have people like do tests in the lab there. So that's why I have not been doing it there.
Are you working then with OSP in Cologne or in Bonn?
In Cologne. So it's basically Cologne Bonn is one basically training site. It's together. So there is no specific site in Bonn.
Okay. Is there still Olaf Heine? Olli Heine?
I don't know him.
It's, he's doing the tests 20 years ago when I was in Cologne.
Ah, okay. Yeah, I don't know him.
Okay. So, but he was, yeah, when you maybe met someone whose name is Heine, then you have to say hello to him.
I will.
He was incredible. He is a crazy guy.
In what way was he crazy?
He was testing everything and talking about testing and to develop different machines for testing. And so it was everything about testing. And we are thinking, or we thought we will develop a helmet where we can test with a helmet everything. So measuring the blood, measuring the breathing, measuring the brain, everything. Only you got a helmet and we can measure everything. But it's still a dream.
Well, maybe one day.
Who knows? Who knows? And what kind of testing you did today?
Today I just did like the lactate testing, so like the different Stufentest. So
So you did the stage test.
yeah.
Cool. Any questions around there?
Mark, I have a question. I caught when you're talking about the meal prepping. I saw a documentary about like eating meat before like competition, like versus like eating a vegetarian diet. Do you have a certain diet that you follow so you can perform better during race day?
I'm not a vegetarian. I mean, I try to eat like a balanced diet, and I think food is like something that's very individual. I mean, one set of diet might really work well for one person and it might not work well for the other person. So I think it's a lot about like trying what works for like everyone individually.
Okay. Thank you.
Welcome.
Other question around there? Doesn't seem. Then I have another question, Annika. So you're doing now elite sports since 25 years?
Since 2001, basically.
Say it again.
Since 2001.
Okay, 20 years, cool. And 20 years elite sport. Do you sometimes have the feeling that you like to step away and do nothing with elite sports and doing not following a schedule?
Most of the time, I really like being an athlete, and I like that, like to set goals. But of course, I mean, I know there are also other things in life, and I can also see myself doing other things. But at the moment, I really enjoy being an athlete.
Okay, then let's say you will win the gold medal in the time trial in Tokyo. So the road race is, it's not so good because my athlete like to win the gold medal in the road race, but you can get the time trial, okay? What will you do after that?
Well, at the moment, I'm more planning what I'm doing before, and I'm preparing as well as I can, and then let's see what happens in Tokyo, and then we can speak again and we can see what I do afterwards.
You mean in the German house with the beer, we can talk about that.
Well, if I can win a medal in Tokyo, then I think I can definitely drink a beer with you.
Okay, yeah, I'm going. Joe.
How was last year, 2020, in March, April, I don't know exactly when, they canceled the Paralympic Games. So what have been your first impression when they did that?
I mean, when the Paralympics were canceled, it wasn't a surprise to me. Of course, I was really sad that day, but I knew that it was like the right decision, because it would not have been safe, and it would not have been the right thing to have Paralympic Games in that situation. But still, like, you have focused everything around like that competition, like not only in terms of like training, but also in terms of like private life, like everything is like focused on this competition, and then suddenly everything changes. So yeah, that day I needed some time for myself. I actually I was talking to my coach on the phone, and I was like, I really like I don't want to go on my bike today. I can't go on my bike today. And he was like, yeah, that's totally fine. Because I mean, he knows that usually it's the other way around. Like when he tells me, oh no, it's your rest day, I was like, oh, I really want to go on my bike. But that day I was like, no, I really don't want to go on my bike today. And so I went for a walk just by myself in the forest, and yeah, just needed some me time, and yeah, was sad, but as I said, it was the right decision, and yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So the decision by self was absolutely right. Maybe they could made it a little bit earlier, that everyone is more clear. And but at any time now we have to wait if they will run the Paralympics or not. I think they will do, but who knows?
I mean, I'm very, very certain that the Paralympic Games are going ahead this year. I don't know if you know, so yesterday, like the first like playbooks were published, and there you can already like see the detail that's going into like planning safe Olympic and Paralympic Games. And I think everything is planned out really well. I think
Annika. Ah.
Back again. So I think it will be very different Paralympic Games from what we know of Paralympic Games. So I think like the whole experience as an athlete will be completely different, because I don't expect to have like spectators. I don't expect to like experience like an opening or closing ceremony. I think this year will be just like about the actual competition. And this is like what we are training for. And I am very thankful if we get this opportunity to compete at that level. But it won't be like the typical Paralympic Games experience. So like for like athletes who have never been to Paralympic Games, of course, like this is like really sad. And for everyone, it's kind of sad. Okay, I'm back again. I don't know what's happening here. But yeah, I was saying that if it's like your first Paralympic Games in Tokyo, then you don't really get this like whole excitement of like going to an opening ceremony and then like coming into the like mood of like competing at such a stage. So yeah, it will be different, but I think there are a lot of like sport competitions taking place at the moment, not necessarily like in para sport, but in other sports, and those like show that it's possible to have like safe competitions. And I think this is like what it's all about, to have like a competition and to have it safe for the athletes and everyone else.
Yeah, absolutely. You're completely right. It's very difficult to see right now an opening ceremony with all the athletes, and it's very sad. But I guess you are right. It will be only 3 races,
Yeah.
and yeah, it's difficult because the venue in hand cycling is already 200 kilometers away from the Olympic Village. So you have to compete again far away from the Olympic Village. Can happen that you don't see anyone, only hand cyclists.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, but we have.
It is how it is.
Yeah, absolutely. Cool. Any question at this moment? Because I asked her for 60 to 90 minutes and we are about 80 minutes now. If you have any questions around, please do it now. Minutes. Annika like to have her to be ready for the next training tomorrow.
Yes.
I'd like Valette to ask a question.
Hi. If you could be a pirate or a ninja, which one would you choose and why?
A pirate or what?
A ninja?
That's a tricky question. I don't have a good answer for that.
But it's important. I need to know.
Okay, what's your answer?
Last year I said I wanted to be a pirate, but I think this year I've changed my mind and I want to be a ninja.
And why?
I want to be stealthy. People will know I'm coming. Just kidding.
Yeah, Annika, and you now?
Yeah, good question. Can't really make up my mind. Maybe a ninja.
I want to be a pirate.
And why?
Because the pirate is more the guy who is a guy who is free and is on the ocean and is against the rules. So I guess this is the reason for that.
Well, for me, being against the rules, that's like, I would say I'm like the typical German, sticking to the rules.
Okay. Yeah, good point. When you lived 4 or 5 years in America, right?
Yes, 4.
And we both living in German, and you have the experience of 4 years America. What was the best thing of America?
For me, being at the university, that's like super accessible. That was really, really cool because like a lot of the universities in Germany are pretty old, so they are not very accessible. But not only like in terms of universities, also like in the US, pretty much like every restaurant is accessible and has like an accessible bathroom. So like here in Germany, we have like so many like old buildings. So usually like the bathrooms and restaurants are downstairs without like an elevator. So if I want to go to like a restaurant with friends and it's a restaurant that I don't know yet, I basically have to call there ahead and ask like where the bathrooms are and if they are accessible. So it's kind of like annoying. You cannot be very spontaneous. And that was like something that I really enjoyed in the US, that I didn't have to put any thought into that. I knew that wherever I go, like they'll have like accessible bathrooms. So that just like made life a lot easier.
Yeah, absolutely. This is a big difference. In Germany, it's horrible sometimes, especially if you're going to your university. It's so difficult for the students when you have a wheelchair. It's horrible.
Yes, big difference to the US.
So last question from the round. If not, was there a question? Cool.
I have another question. This is Marco again.
Yeah.
Maybe both you two, Ruff, maybe can answer this question for me too. When cycling, being competitive and stuff, what is I guess like your weight has to do with your performance in cycling? Is there like an ideal weight a person should be at to be competitive in cycling, or is it just basically your power and endurance that is the main factor?
Annika first.
Do you want to answer that?
Okay, so at first there is no specific weight where you have to look for. So the weight is depending for sure on your size. And then on the second point, on your injury. So if you have a high level of injury, you may have less amount of muscle mass and you are lighter. And the point is very close to every research, the power to weight ratio is the most important factor in hand cycling. So if you have a very good power to weight ratio, you will have success. It's not clear if you will be world-class athlete, but for sure, if you have this in a good way, you will be on a highest level. And it's difficult to say what is the best ratio. Yeah. Depending on the class. So if you're going in a H1, H2, H3, H4, H5, all of them are different. Okay.
Yeah. Because I remember last time, we met and I was a little bigger inside, I had a little more muscle mass.
I think, I don't know exactly, but I think I have a picture in my mind, but you
Yeah.
was strong guy.
Yeah. So I'm not going to the gym as much. So it's more like, twice a week, and then I cycle 5 days a week. So I've toned down on the lifting for size and everything, but more so for strength.
Yeah, cool. Yeah. So, and you are 8'3", right?
Yes.
Yeah. But I can't say any ratio at this moment. But what I can say is that I made a research in my PhD about the time in a marathon and the power numbers, and the highest relation between winning and the results have been the power to weight ratio.
Okay. Thank you.
Oh, Annika, are you still there?
I'm still there, yes, of course.
Good. So this was the last question, and I want to thank you for your time, for being a part of this camp, and for your very good answer. And hopefully we see each other in a future in any race, and this very soon.
Yeah, I really hope so. Hopefully we can have some races.
Yeah, and maybe together drinking a beer with your rainbow jersey and Vico's rainbow jersey, or someone else rainbow jersey.
Sounds good.
Cool. Thank you, Annika, and have a lovely evening.
Thank you very much. I hope you enjoy the rest of your training camp. It's been great to be with you guys.
Thank you, and good luck in Tokyo.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Cool.
Thank you.
So, any points from your side from the group or from this moment?
Well, it's been a lot of to me, I've gained a lot of good info, especially on what kind of weight, and listen from all of you guys is pretty. I've learned a lot. It's been pretty good though.
Anything else?
Yes, I have a question. My name is Alfredo Lopez. I'm out of Texas. I have been riding consistently or for medical issues. I had stem cell, having problems with my legs and back and my hip. So now I'm riding. I just started. So my question is so I don't hurt myself. What do you recommend a regimen of getting back into cycling?
So the first thing is always to start very easy. So that you find an easy spot for riding without too much power, with too much you haven't to fight during the first sessions. It's more like easy riding, 30 minutes, 40 minutes, and getting back with more and more volume, then increase the power again.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, I just don't want to injure myself again. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, absolutely. So easily 4 times 20 minutes per week, and then increasing maybe 10 minutes per exercise, and then if you have 4 times 90 minutes maybe per week, then you can get more and more power.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate it. So I won't work on my elevation, and I'll just do the easy, rides for maybe. Do you recommend maybe how many weeks? 4 weeks, 3 weeks?
For the time for starting easily,
Yes, sir.
it's about 3 to 5 weeks. And in this time, only increasing the volume and not the intensity.
I'm just taking notes. I'm listening. Okay, thank you. Appreciate it very much. You're starting to warm up in Texas, and I want to get my riding in. I went riding yesterday, and I just had to do some errands. We had some family members that passed away because of COVID, and my daughter went to their funeral. So, and we're taking care of my granddaughter. So we're just trying to get by here. Thank you.
Yeah. Different things, other points? Okay, then tomorrow we have the highlight of the week. We have to do the time trial. So 20 minutes time trial tomorrow. And I'm not sure if can Gerard manage that every one of you will start together at Swift. I don't know if is Gerard around and can answer this question.
Yes, he can answer the question.
Good to see or good to hear you.
Yeah, I can start at Swift. That's fine. So if anybody wants to be added, just shoot me a message. I'll send out an invite to everybody who has PVAR and their name on Swift.
And then all of you can do a 20, so you can manage a time trial of 20 minutes, or is it a length depending?
Yeah, so what I can do is I can do two sessions. I can do a warm-up separate from another session that's the actual time trial. So it's up to you what you'd like.
And it's possible to do it 20 minutes. It's not depending on lengths like miles or kilometers. You can manage it with 20 minutes.
Last time I looked, I think it was possible. Somebody else knows for sure. Speak up. From what I know, you can do 20-minute time frame instead of just a distance.
Okay, would be cool. And everyone who like to use his own testing kit should do it in the following way. First, the warm-up is coming. Then we will have a short stop. You can take your blood sample, and then everyone is starting with the 20 minutes. The 20 minutes should be like a steady state ride. So you have to find your maximum power, which can be hold 20 minutes. And after the 20 minutes, immediately someone should take the first blood sample. The minute after, again, and then 3 minutes after stopping, and 5 minutes after stopping. During that time, when someone is taking the blood samples, do not ride, do not move, only relaxing. And when you did this after 5 minutes, you can easily spin again and recover. And when you have the numbers, for everyone who can do this, can send me the numbers after the session tomorrow, and I will analyze them for for Saturday and give you some more information about our time trial.
Ralph, how much time do you want me to schedule between the end of the warm-up session and the beginning of the 20-minute time trial.
Good question. If everything is running well so that you don't need a break for the toilet, I think it's 5 minutes enough. But to make everything easy, use 10 minutes.
Roger that. And just to confirm, I see the warm-up lasting 30 minutes.
Sorry, say it again.
I see the warm-up on your schedule lasting 30 minutes.
Yes. And during the warm-up, you do 2 times 2 minutes in a higher power area, which is different for sure for everyone.
Got it.
And for the guys who are doing the 20 minutes, the warm-up beside this 2 times 2 minutes should be very easy. Yeah, so like the spinning today. I'm not sure if everyone is spinning easy, but it should be easy. So, and tomorrow the warm-up should be easy as well. Okay, cool. And tomorrow we have another guest, and will be very exciting to have him with us during the 20 minutes. I know for sure during the 20 minutes, maybe you won't get as much information as today because you may suffer after a while, but maybe you can suffer a little bit more when you can listen to us. On Saturday, we will talk about the last 5 days, about the time trial, and about the future. I will give you some information, and it will be a very interesting session without any guests, but some news, what I have for you for the future. Cool. Any other questions at this moment? Jody, do you have anything on your heart?
No, I'm just still taking uniform orders for those people that don't have 2 serviceable sets and that are going to Huntsville. I'd also like to hear from people that are going to want to go to Huntsville so that I can make sure I have enough rooms. So get back in touch.
Jody's registration open?
No, this is not unusual. You know, it may not open until 3 weeks before the event, honestly, but just save the date at this point.
Okay, I'll be there driving.
Okay, well, yep.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. Something else?
I don't know if you guys want to chat at all about any of this virtual racing that will be coming up in March. If it's the least bit appealing or anyone's actually participated in any of it before, maybe on another platform.
Hey, Jody, do you know if they're going to require people to have like registered on a different website for power verification for that racing?
I don't think it's going to be anything that's going to eliminate the potential of cheaters. If that's what you're asking.
No, I know, because some of the Zwift races, they require you to be registered on Zwift Power. So this platform, I wasn't sure.
Yeah.
If they, and it depends on the level of the race as well. So I just wasn't sure if you knew or had that information.
Yeah, so I don't have it, but I'm sure that we can get an update as well or pose the question on Tuesday. If you noticed, we have that meeting at 1500 Central Time. It's already been established. And If you happen to run into Carlos or Ken Bestine, let them know about that meeting. They should know, but they may both need reminding.
Hey, Jody.
Yes.
Yeah, this is Dennis. So most of the races on Swift, if you click on the event, it'll tell you whether you have to be on Swift Power or not, especially if it's the first time they're doing it. And if I can remember it, I think most of them will give you a little bit of instructions on how to get on the Swift Power itself.
Yeah.
But I'm not quite positive on it. But it will tell you whether you need to be on Swift Power or not.
Well, so this, I may be speaking out of turn here because I'm just learning about all this, but I think this platform is RGT, or that's the vendor for it, or what, but it's not using Zwift. And I think that, you know, like one of the things I've come to understand, like with Zwift, is that when you come into a turn, you don't have to slow down for the turn. And I think this platform actually will slow you down. So you can be pedaling as fast as you want, but it's going to slow you down. So it's kind of another layer of the way that this thing is going. And there's supposed to be even another platform that's even better than that, where you know, it's more realistic, the avatar. But for now, this is just someone that's interested in us playing with them. And Toad is interested enough in getting involved with them as a whole for their able-bodied. So we just asked to be included with it. And our avatar will be two-wheeled, but you know, this isn't going to cost us anything other than your time and participation. So there's not a registration fee. And you know, it could be as basic as that, you know, we have to delineate in our name exactly who you are. If you're on a recumbent, or you're on a, you know, you're on a hand cycle, but you're in a certain class. But all those directions will be given out based on necessity for, you know, everyone knowing who is actually racing who within the platform.
Well, you can count me in, Jody. I'll do it.
Yes. That was interesting. Was that Jackie?
Yeah, that was me.
Okay. That was cool because your mouth didn't move, but yet I heard your voice. So I guess there's a little delay here.
Yeah,
Yeah, you're like the closest one to my house.
and I am as well. I'm driving myself as well too.
Yeah, so we got about 15 minutes. I don't know, maybe we'll let any questions for Ralph so he can start his evening. Anyone have any questions for Ralph?
Cool. Then I wish everyone a good evening.
Thanks.
Good day, good night, and see you tomorrow. And I'm looking forward to have a very nice session tomorrow.
All right, man.
Thank you, Ralph.
Bye.
All right. Any other questions?
I have one.
Yes, ma'am.
What is this package?
Oh, we'll find out Saturday.
Saturday? Okay.
Yeah, we'll all find out Saturday.
Sounds good.
Good question.
Charlie's been asking about it more than I have. He's like, what is in the package? I had to tell him not to open it because he has a tendency to open my mail.
Yep. How'd the bike ride go yesterday wherever you did, in the garage or?
I just did it in the parking garage a little bit. It should be fun.
Was that near your house or when you picked it up?
When I picked it up. So it's a VA.
Oh, they wouldn't let you
I didn't
go
wanna
get
go.
it from Jake?
No, every time I've tried, they're like, nope, you have to come to us. So I had to get shipped to them. and then it got shipped with a flat, so like they wouldn't give it to me with a flat, so I had to wait for them to fix it.
Uh-huh.
Well,
Is it
I was like,
tubeless?
it was tubeless, but then they were like, oh, I think it's easier to fix a tube on the trail, so they changed it.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I had to fight my VA to let me pick it up from Jake because I didn't want it to get
Yeah, I
destroyed.
tried. Yeah,
Think about it, he had to ship that. It's ridiculous.
It he did. So I felt bad because he thought about driving it, but I was like, I wish I could just come drive for it, but they wouldn't let me.
Well, you'll benefit until
They
you
had to.
move with him being so close to do the maintenance, the serious maintenance.
Yeah, they had to make sure that I could transfer into it safely, and things like that. They had to make sure the NRG too that I could transfer into it safely as well. And I was like, are you kidding me? Okay.
I bet that was fun though to expose your vulnerabilities to. Because how many times had you got on and off of Mako? There wasn't really a Mako for you to do it. That was your first time, right?
Yeah, it was a little bit difficult, but I was able to get my left leg all the way over like the handlebars and drivetrain, and it wasn't that difficult to get back into my chair from there.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, you do have like 2-3 able-bodied people like hovering around you. Like, oh my God, are you gonna be okay? I'm like, dude, pretty sure I do this all the time. But no.
I'd be a pirate.
Be a pirate or
Yep. So I can get that booty. Jackie thinks that's funny. I know it.
Hey, Toy, are you going to go to Huntsville?
I am, but I'm not racing.
Oh. What's up with that?
Yes, though. Huh?
What's up with that?
Yeah, I'm just going to riding for fun.
I
I'm just
said he's
riding for
gonna
fun
go.
nowadays.
You're gonna be entered, but you're not racing. Is that what you're saying?
No.
I mean, you're gonna ride for fun. You mean you're joy riding to get there, or you?
No. I'm just joyriding nowadays. I'm just going there because just be I guess I'm driving Miss Daisy to Huntsville, Alabama.
I think you're afraid Miss Daisy's gonna hand you the backside.
Boy said he's going to be Jackie's mechanic.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Huntsville.
that's right. I'm the mechanic.
Toy, you can
He's going
convoy down there. I think it's a 9-hour drive. I could be wrong.
No, we're flying there, bringing Odessa bike so she can race. But
Okay.
I'm just going there supporting her.
Well, I'll be there if you need riding around. I'm bringing my truck.
Appreciate it. We will need a ride around.
Yeah. So yeah, it's Crewcast.
Oh, very cool.
It's, King Ranch. I'll show it to you when you move over here to San Antonio.
We're not sure yet. We just found a lot, a 5-acre lot. We're talking to the builder right now, and he showed the floor plan, pretty wide open, so pretty easily make it into accessible home. He worked with veteran before, so he know what we need to make it accessible. So hopefully we don't have to deal with the VA too much.
There's a lot of veterans that have their home built out there, so should be no problem. I rode all the way to Camp Bullish yesterday and kicked my ass just because I haven't been riding.
What I don't know that area. What is that?
It's a military base.
Oh,
Trail connects outside the gate. So you are literally cross over to the other side and keep going and it connects to another trail system.
I think
So-
we rode right by it, but we did not go into the military base because the hour was getting late.
Yeah, it's a little hilly. It was tough for me because I haven't been
Okay.
running.
Here are the definition of hill. When I would get there, and Jim would warn me there was hill, really bad hill. For me, I'm seeing that like a little molehill. It was, I think I had to laugh because there isn't much of a hill. So,
No, it's not it's just deceptive, especially if you haven't been riding outside.
Okay.
Here in this area is hilly. So there's a lot of places you can ride that's hilly here. I mean,
Okay.
going up and down, up and down, up and down.
Rolling hill.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Hey, Toy, how big a
Yes.
house do you need?
Say what?
How big of a house do you need?
We don't know yet, but I would like to have more than 3,000 square feet because I want we're gonna have 2 wheelchairs to move around. I mean, we're gonna need room to roll around.
Okay, I was gonna say I'm having a house built right now, and
Uh-huh.
we did a custom design for it's 3,000 square feet under roof, 4-bedroom, 2.5 bath. That's fully accessible.
Oh, okay.
So if you need, I have house plans.
Okay. Like I said, the realtor just sent us a floor plan. So far, it looked pretty nice. I may have to fly down there and talk to the builder, make certain area bigger and all that stuff. But I will keep that in mind. Thank you.
More than welcome. Happy to share, brother.
Thank you.
He just wants to make sure he's got an open area long enough to have an indoor shooting range.
That's right.
That's right. That's right.
Well, it's true though, because the builder told the realtor, say, yes, we can extend the garage so he can have his 33 feet. So right now it's a 4-car garage and they're gonna make one bay into an air conditioning room bay. So that way we can train indoor on a hot day. And they're gonna extend now, I think, to 40 feet. So there'll be plenty of room for shooting range and everything.
Troy, make sure they insulate the garage or all the walls on the outer edge.
Good idea. Thank you.
It gets hot here and cold.
Yeah, that's what I hear.
It's starting to warm up over here.
Yeah, I think there'll be another month here because it's been raining for the last 5-6 days here in Seattle. It got so bad that the dog don't want to go outside and pee, literally pee inside the house. So I'm waiting for warmer weather.
Yeah, good. That's good. You can ride.
Stop playing.
Well, you're in Idaho right now, aren't you?
And we moved here in September, and we got a rental so that we could basically kind of look around and try to find a spot here. But man, the real estate market here is ridiculous right now. It's so hard to find a place, and they sell anything that's decent sells within 2 days. So we have to be ready to go look at something and then put an offer in on it immediately.
Wow.
I think there's a mass exodus out of California right now. Unfortunately, they're all bringing their money.
Yeah, that's the same problem we're running here in Texas too, actually, because they all the lot there and everything sell really quick. So literally we have to, originally I wanted the lot on the trail, but the more I'm thinking about it, the amount of money I'm paying for the house on the trail, I can get some nice land and a bigger house outside the city limit. So I think I'm gonna do that instead.
That's what I recommend, Toy.
Yeah. So that's the reason why we fall back to this 5-acre lot. And yeah.
Toy, how many vehicles you got?
Just gonna be 2, one for me and one for Augusta.
Okay. If you have like a certain type of metal and your DD form 214, your records, they give you, I mean, one, they'll waive it if you got a certain rating from the, Texas when you do the property, then you can do another one. But you have to have a certain type of metal.
What kind of metal?
I just got approved from my second one. So that's I know.
What kind of metal are you talking about?
Well, for me, it's an MSN, but if you got like, let me see if I got the form. Let me see.
If they're looking for the Medal of Honor or Purple Heart, I don't have it.
Yeah, those are one of them. That's it. That's it. I'm looking for here it is. So if you got a Coast Guard medal, Soldier's Medal, Civil Star, Prisoner of War Medal, Navy Cross, Navy and Marine Corps Medal, and then the Meritorious Service Medal, Legion of Merit, Distinguished Service Medal, Department of Transportation, the Distinguished Service Medal, Department of Homeland Security. I guess these are the medals when when service members are attached to these agencies. They have one for Distinguished Service Medal, Department of Defense, Navy, Distinguished Service Medal, Navy. So you got any of these, whatever you have, any of these
Yeah,
medals,
I got those.
then you can get another car, but you gotta submit it differently.
Okay.
When you get here, I'll show you if you want. If you don't want, that's up to you.
I need all the help I can get. I'll show you my DD 214. So
yeah, there's one that they do it different. When you go where everybody goes and gets the vehicle registered, and you show them, your VA rating, and you have to fill out a couple forms, and you can get that your VV plate. What that gives you is, you can park anywhere handicapped, except the federal. It's the federal. They don't want to see that little purple one. It's gotta have that handicap on it. Okay. And also airports. Certain airports you have VV plates. They don't charge you, so you can keep it there. Austin is I think it's a couple days. San Antonio, you can leave it there for a long period of time. I don't know if they changed how long you can keep it. Houston, same thing. Houston tolls, they don't charge you. In Austin, only up to a certain portion of it, not all of it. And then they start charging you. So certain cities, municipalities, and cities, they waived it.
Cool.
So that's why if you have the DV place, that's a good thing. And then the other one, I just got this approved. This is for the medal. I mean, if you're active duty or a veteran, you can apply for that. You have to send it up to the state, the capital over there in Austin, and it's a different form. You don't go through the one normally. And then they verify. You gotta submit your DD form 214 and your DD form 215, because I had my medals that weren't in my DD form 214, so I had to get my records corrected. So long story short, I mean, so I have 2 vehicles. The only thing I pay is a vehicle inspection and like $10 or less than that.
Nice.
So it's $17 total for one vehicle.
Nice.
That's with the registration waive. So I do have another van, and then that's where we have to pay full price. I think it's like $90, 92, but everything a little helps.
Right.
So I don't, yeah. So, so you'll have 2 vehicles that way.
Yeah, we will have 2 vehicles. So I never heard of DD215.
Yeah, that's a correction. When you submit, how you do board of correction or appeals, but then I submitted my stuff to them, and then they send it back and give me the correct. Basically, it's just a correction to my official records, my DD form 214, and then they just add my medal in there, and then or whatever else, and then that's all.
Cool.
Well, I'll see you guys because I got to call the VA. I'm trying to